She was eating it.
Hello and welcome to another Melbourne Diaries. So I'll just do the outfit, get it out the way. I actually thought I'd probably let you know what I'm actually wearing. So this is thrifted and it's by Reformation, and Reformation is probably one of my favorite brands. Anytime I see any Reformation dress in an op shop, I grab it. Because most likely I'll like it. Now, I just got a new scent in the mail, a sample. I believe this is Dolce & Gabbana Garden. So I'm going to wear it today and let you know what I think of it. It's definitely on the sweeter side, and I've got my fingers crossed for this one. So today my plan is to go to a local yarn store to see if they've got anything that I can use to make a bag for the playing cards that I got, because I really want something that actually looks like the deck rather than using what's in my yarn stash. I think I've got about 60 skeins of yarn still left to go through before I'm normally allowing myself to buy as needed. But yeah, for this particular deck, I really wanted something to epitomize the colors that are actually in the deck, to really represent the deck rather than just putting it in, like, for instance, a blue yarn. I really don't have a lot of like primary colors combined yarns because that's not normally the color schemes that I like. I'll probably hit up a cafe because I am hungry. I've got a school evening thing, information night, I'm hoping not to go to, but it depends if my eldest daughter wants me to go. Normally she makes me go to everything. I'm like, the mom, like, hey, I'll get you out of whatever you want. And she's like, no, I want to attend everything. I'm like, God damn it. God damn it. I have a yoga session booked tomorrow with my cousin, so I'll take you to that with me as well. And I'm thinking of taking myself out to see a movie, Argyle. Look, I like Henry Cavill and Dua Lipa, so it's like double eye candy, and my girlfriend said it was an absolute blast, and I absolutely, thoroughly, immensely enjoyed The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Henry. I had a fun time, and this is giving very similar vibes, but with a cat, guys, with a kitty cat. And thank God, my girlfriend already told me, listen, the cat's going to be okay, just to let you know, because I can't see movies where animals die. Like, my whole week is ruined with that. And that's sort of all I've got planned thus far. It is Valentine's Day next week, and I'm going out with my cousin and one of my best friends, us single ladies, going to have a night, so I'll take you out then. I have ordered a dress secondhand that I saw online, and it's due to come on the 14th. And I'm like, oh man, that's gonna cut it close, and more than likely I'm not gonna get it. I might have to find an alternative or just something in my closet, but touch base with you guys later. So I also got a new pair of glasses, and I'm currently wearing my contacts, so I'm doubling up, and if I'm cross-eyed, that is why. But I wanted a pair of clear ones for when I'm wearing, you know, like lighter colors. So what do you guys think? Is it a yes? Is it a no? I also wanted ones that wouldn't further perpetuate the dent that I get from my black ones. But I have found that with the clear, I can sort of see this in my peripheral and it feels like it's blurred. So I sometimes get dizzy wearing these because I've got the vision and then I've got this blurry bit on the side. So I didn't realize that was a thing, but yeah. Okay, so I went to Via Porta, which is a deli and cafe, but they were too busy. So I just grabbed a mac and cheese take-home meal for the girls tonight so I don't have to make anything. And then I popped into this wool shop that I saw and I got this. I think this is like perfect for the deck. It's got all of the main colors. It's also got purple in there, but I don't mind that. Definitely going to have to check that place out in the future if I need a yarn, because it's, you know, it's very cute, very sweet, reasonably priced as well. There was one that I normally always go to in Canterbury, but there. And then my favorite place to order online is actually from a shop that's by the beach. So I've always meant to go there in person, but maybe one day I will. But yep, now I'm just off to find somewhere else. Oh my God, I tried Dolce & Gabbana Garden. Dudes. So it's very heavy on the floral, but it's the kind of floral that reminds you of a very like musty, overpacked op shop. And then there was this after kick of like tinned pineapple juice on top of it. So wasn't a fan whatsoever. I don't even remember what the original profile of this perfume was, but that's what I got from it, like dusty florals and tinned pineapple juice. So I'm back. I decided not to eat in at one plus piece, because I had the mac and cheese in the car. So I ordered their veggie poke bowl. Really good. So really happy with that. And I also grabbed myself a little Loco Love gingerbread chocolate, which is also chef's kiss, so good. The Dolce & Gabbana garden has dried down. Was that a bruise? Yes, it is. I bruise very easily. And now it's very strongly smelling of frangipani and coconut. So it's very tropical, but I kind of feel like a pina colada. It's not the vibe I'm going for. So Dolce & Gabbana garden is a no for me. Pulled these two cards today, which are pretty much the same energy, but I do love me a lady with pink hair. I have Bluebell down on my lap. Oh, move that book out the way. This was trash. Didn't enjoy. I know there's a movie about it. I'd say watch that over reading the book. So yoga yesterday. Vinyasa is not for me. It's brutal. It's a bit too much on my joints and it's too strenuous. I think my days of vinyasa are over. I was still pretty pleased that I managed to do crow pose still, considering I haven't actually attempted that pose in like 4 years. So it's nice to see, oh, there's some muscle memory and strength, residual strength still there. But I think I'm going to stick to the slow flows, you know, the gentle. Yin's my favorite type of yoga. That's my preferred practice. But at this particular yoga studio, which is very aesthetic, very zen, minimalist kind of vibe. They don't use aircon or fans though. So the vinyasa class was basically like a hot yoga class. I was sweating streams all over my mat. So thank goodness I have a cork mat, and it actually becomes more grippy the more you sweat. But I was not expecting that. I wouldn't have worn a long sleeve top and long pants if I had known that I was going to sweat that much. So I think obviously going to this place in summer, I'm going to be sweaty. So I'm going to have to probably wear like shorts and singlets from now on to be able to make it through. But yeah, I plan to do a Pilates on Monday, and I'm going to try out their mellow yoga class, which is just a slower flow. They've also got yin, but I just like to do yin at home. You know, I like to put my music on. And we then went to Jour Cafe, and so gorge. Very, very pretty, very French feeling. Even the outdoor eating area just was a really nice atmosphere. I got a brioche French toast with peaches and lavender, and it was nice, but the lavender wasn't super heavy, and I was hoping for more of a floral note. And the brioche French toast itself was a bit dry on the inside. So it was nice. Wasn't the best. The cappuccino was really good though. But I really do have to stop drinking coffee, unless it's a fancy. I've decided, unless it's some fancy like chestnut cream coffee, some interesting thing I've never tried before. No more just regular coffees, trying to cut back on that caffeine. So I've tried some more perfumes, but I'm actually going to take Fifi's advice. She left a comment down below. It's actually what I was feeling as well. So my kids really have already associated the scent Angel with me, and they've already made that memory connection to it. So I've decided I'm not going to not wear Angel. I'm going to keep it in my repertoire because my kids already have associated it with their mum, and I want them to keep that connection. So I'm looking to still just add 2 or 3 other scents into the rotation so that I've got some variety in what I can wear. So will be hunting for another one. I tried some more. So I tried Kayali Vanilla in 28. I think this is a really popular fragrance. For this one, it definitely has a very warm, ambery vanilla smell. It's like a deeply, I've got Blue's hair all over my face. It's a very like deep vanilla essence kind of smell to me. It's because it's also got that like alcoholic twinge to it, even though I don't think that's a key component, but it did remind me of vanilla essence. There's like a, rum-like deep sweetness to it. And it's got a very heavy brown sugar note, sweet as well to it. So I did enjoy it. The kids were like, oh, that smells yum. It's very gourmand. I don't think I'd buy it. I'm keeping the sample though, and I'm going to keep using it up and see, how I like it. Do I like it enough to make it one of my core 4 scents or not? But yeah, it was rather pleasant, but very, like I just said, sweet and alcoholic. And then I tried Ylang in gold, very cool, shimmery gold liquid. So that's kind of cool. This one did kind of smell like stale fruit candy with ylang ylang. And I really, you like ylang ylang. But there was a very heavy backdrop of like mint and musk and moss. So like that very green kind of scent. And I hate mint. I will eat fresh mint leaves and that is it. Otherwise, any other iteration of mint, artificial or real in anything else, can't stand it, especially mint gum. It makes me want to vomit and I don't know why, but like I said, fresh mint leaves like in a salad, I can do. Anything else, can't stand. So this was a no for me. And then I tried vanilla diorama, and this definitely has warm spicy as like the main note. It almost feels like an incense in a way. The strength of this is incredible. Like the scent throws itself across the room. I didn't even need to get anywhere near my children. They smelt me coming. So it is quite a strong scent. For me, you've got the vanilla there, but it's also very much laid with the pepper and patchouli. So I think the patchouli is just as strong as the vanilla for me. They're the two scents that I'm smelling the most. I think that's why I associated it with incense. So it is nice, but it's I just don't think it's for me. But if you like vanilla and patchouli and like warm, spicy, sweet things, you might enjoy this one. But the strength of it is impressive, that people can smell it before you actually get your wrist up their nose. So today I'm heading off to see Argyle. I've decided to go see it. You know, Cats, Cavill, Dua Lipa, funny spy film. My best friend Kate saw it and she said it's a good time. So I thought, yeah, why not? I know it'll probably come out eventually on some streaming service, but decided to take myself out. If you're a member with Telstra in Australia, you actually get cheap movie tickets at like more than half price. So for that. I've also got to return some things to David Jones. So I got this red dress by House of CB. I love House of CB's designs. All of their dresses are just amazing, but they don't fit my body. So I pick the smaller size. I'm an extra small, which is like a 6 in Australia, and I think it's a 2 in American sizing. So I'm very small, but I've got C-cup boobs. But these dresses, they will fit right around like my rib cage, like tight. They're tight, they're extra small. But the titty area is gaping. Like, and I'm like, are these dresses designed for people that have breast implants? Because you would need to be a minimum a D cup in their smaller size to be able to fill the area. And even in this dress, I put chicken fillets in there to boost me up an entire cup or more. And it was still so loose. And I've tried so many times with a lot of their dresses, and they'll fit here, lovely, but then here, I'm just not feeling it. And it makes me really sad because I really like the style of their dresses and I just don't get it. Yeah, you've got to have really large boobs for this clothing, like larger than the rest of your body frame. So, you know, before kids, I would have been fine because I was one of those ladies who lost cuppage after children. I was actually a double D before kids and settled into a C after children. But yeah, unfortunately, returning this because I did get it for the Valentine's Day dinner next week, but that's a fail. And then I did get that secondhand dress. It did come ahead of schedule. I went to try it on and it is too small. It's too small. I am pretty gutted. I'm not going to return it because the shipping is astronomical to return it, and it's just not worth it for me. I'd rather just either save it for my kids or sell it at an op shop here, because you can do that too. You can just bring in your clothes and sell them, and I've done that before. But I might leave it, like, who knows, sometimes, you know, when you ever have those moments where like you get the flu and you drop weight for just like 2 weeks, that would be maybe that dress then. So I might be able to use it the next time I get sick. I still don't have one for V-Day. I'm just gonna wear something I've got in my closet. It might not be red, but oh well, I just don't want to purchase any more things. But I'll see you guys after I come back from the movie.
Size into our new evolved form.
Okay, I'm back. This is going to be a quick review because my daughter wants to watch Twilight. I think this movie is a very much 3.5 star. It's entertaining. It is a silly spy movie, but it didn't have enough humor in it for moi, and it didn't have enough Cavill and Cena in it for moi. But it was fine, but I probably wouldn't bother seeing it at the cinema. I'd wait till it comes out. Okay, so that was Sylvie doing a little run by. I'm back from the hairdresser. It's cute, it's flippy, I don't mind it. I probably might go for something a bit more beachier next time, beach waves rather than these very structured waves. I was meant to be going out to a new book club this evening. However, I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling a bit and it is incredibly hot. I think there's meant to be a massive thunderstorm, and I don't like to drive during crazy thunderstorms. I just don't feel like it's very safe. And the book that I read for this book club, which is this one right here, was a wash. It was not it. It was a 2-star for me. And I thought, do I want to introduce myself to the book club on a 2-star book when I'm not feeling my best? Probably not. But also the main motivation for me not to go this evening is that I am going out tomorrow for Valentine's Day. So I'm like, Chanel, this is the important event. This one is less so. So perhaps rain check this, go next month and save your energy for this evening, because I want to have a nice dinner and I want to go dancing afterwards. And I can't do that. If I felt like I do now, I wouldn't be able to do it. So today it's going to be just rest day and tidy up, because the kids have gone to their dad's. Finally, he's back. And after having my kids for like 2 weeks, the house is not a good state. It's not a good state. And I can't relax in a messy house. So I need to get it all clean so I can just chillax the rest of the evening. I've been watching Death is in the Details, which is a TV series. I'm pretty much watching it for Mandy Patinkin. Like, let's be real here. I'm watching it for my dude. The costume design is lovely. It's very pretty. Lots of pretty actors. A lot of sapphic love scenes in this. I don't know. It's like entertaining, but it's just not delivering more than a 3-star feel out of a 5. You know, it's fine. It's a good way to pass the time while I crochet. Now Nova's coming through. This is like the cat highway. But there are so many things on my to watch list. There's just so many movies and shows just being released at the moment. And because I'm a bit low energy, I'm watching them all, because it requires very little from me just to sit and passively observe. Hey, baby. But yes, I'll probably see you guys tomorrow when I'm going out for dinner. Ex-husband bought me a rose for Valentine's Day. Isn't that nice? Hello, so it is Valentine's Day today. So happy Valentine's Day. And I am going out this evening. I don't know if I'm going to wear this dress. I feel like it's too booby. I've got like a lot of fluid retention and my boobs are boobing. So I don't know. This is too much boobage. I will have a play around, but whatever outfit I wear, I'll put up here. So this will be the outfit that I wear. I feel like I need to trim this as well. I need a bit of a trim, but I'm currently reading this. So this is a new tarot book that just came into my library. I feel like it's definitely for beginners. It is very simple, very straightforward, very to the point. There's not a lot of information in it in terms of, it doesn't inundate you with copious amounts of knowledge. So if you are starting tarot, I think this probably is a good one to begin with. The language is very simple. The meanings that they've chosen are very straightforward and traditional. Like, it's okay, but for me, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, it's definitely what I would say is a beginner's tarot book. So I have tried, I feel like I'm going to drop a boob. I have tried some perfumes. So I did Lolita Lempicka Sweet. This smelled like apple to me, but it's supposed to be cherry. It's definitely got a sweetness. It's definitely got like an earthiness to it. But it kind of reminds me of an apple scented car freshener in a car that has like velour seats. So those fabric seats, but that almost velvet like material on a really sunny day. So you've got that like sun-baked car plus air freshener smell. So it's nice, but for me, it wasn't quite doing it. It smelled like artificial apple, and I don't know why when there's no apple in there. I also tried the Billie Eilish perfume, and this was gorgeous. So this smelled like a rose scented hot chocolate. So I did really enjoy it. It is very sweet, definitely on the gourmand side, but there is like a muskiness to it. So it has those headier notes, and it was nice, but I don't know if it's me. So it's nice, but I'm not sure if it's me. So I'm going to obviously continue on with that one. It hasn't been completely eliminated, but I'm not 100% on it. Okay, I had to get my notes. So I also tried out, so the next perfume that I tried was Dolce Rosa Excelsa. So for this one, it had the scent of fresh roses with a twinge of citrus and this coziness to it. and it reminded me of fresh washing, hanging on the line in spring. That's the kind of feeling that it evoked. It was quite nice. I feel like this is a perfume that older Chanel will like. I just feel like it's a more mature scent for me, but it was lovely, but it's just not what I'm looking for right now. Then I tried Kenzo Elephant, and this smelled like a spicy Lush bath bomb. And if you know the smell of like a Lush salt, then you know. This one was so heavy on the spices, but clove is definitely the main one, and I do love myself a clove scent. It's also got the vanilla, but it's also got this really strong licoricheness to it. This is one of those scents that I kept wanting to smell because of its complexity. It really was a complex, multi-layered scent. Like I said, very heavy though on the spices. It almost smells like a dessert, and for some reason it evoked India to me. My kids were not a fan. It was too much for them. And I think the same thing, it's not something that I could wear, but I enjoyed smelling it. So like as a room spray, I guess, but no, it was very interesting. Definitely one of the more interesting scents that I've smelled lately. Really punchy, but not quite right. Then I tried Spice Bomb. This is a men's scent, but yeah, I wanted to like mix it up. This one to me smells like a rich dude sitting in a Jaguar smoking a cigar. So that's what it evoked. It was very peppery, very leathery, very masculine. Nice, not for me though. And then I tried Vanilla Vibes by Juliet Has a Gun. And this smells like a newborn breastfeeding at the beach. And what I mean by that, it's got this vanilla milk and sunscreen oceany smell. So vanilla, sea salt, brininess, but it's got this muskiness as well. I think it's got like cashmere, I think, but it dries down. The initial smell is that vanilla milky sweetness. And if you ever smelt a newborn's skin, then you know what I'm talking about, with that hint of sea salt by the ocean. But the dry down, the sweetness goes and the musky accords come to play. So this was very interesting. Not for me, but I liked it. But yeah, it didn't feel like me. So that's how I'm going on my journey thus far. At the moment, the ones that I'm continuing to trial out of what I've smelt, and the Kylie Vanilla 28, that was the one that smelled like a very strong vanilla essence, very bakery kind of vibes. So I'm still continuing on with those, but I've got, like I said, so many. I ordered a lot of samples, so I do want to try them all, eliminate some completely, which I'm passing on to friends and family, continue on with the ones that I think could be contenders, because I'm looking for, 2 to 3 scents to add to my repertoire. I'm going to keep Angel as one of them and just add some others on. Someone mentioned, I think Honey Lou Wilson mentioned the Sol de Janeiro. Love that scent. I think I can't remember which number it is. I'll put it up here. That's my favorite one. I absolutely love it. It reminds me of summer. Right now I know you can't see it all. I've got the body glitter oil on, but I love that scent, but it doesn't last on me. So my daughters, I've given them to my daughters now, and they last longer on them. So love that smell, but yeah, it has no staying power, and I need a perfume to have staying power. I want to be able to smell it for many, many hours. And someone also mentioned to try Dolce & Gabbana, I think the one or the only one. So I'll see if I can find it somewhere. Like I said, it's very hard to find the actual perfumes here. You can go into stores and they don't stock it. And then the samples, they didn't have, the ones I ordered, they didn't have the Dolce & Gabbana, the one as a sample. So if I can find it, fantastic. Or like places do sell it, like for instance, Chemist Warehouse, they sell perfumes for cheaper, but they don't have testers. And I'm like, who's going to buy a perfume that they've never sprayed, that they've never smelled? Like, that's only for people who already know that that's their scent and they go and buy it. But I feel like if you're selling perfumes, you should definitely have a tester there. But I think obviously they must get stolen a lot. But I've got those, I've got that one on my radar if I come across it. So tonight I'm just going out with my cousin. Unfortunately, my other best friend cancelled. She wasn't feeling well. So it's just the two of us this evening, and we are going to Poodle Bar and Bistro in Fitzroy, which is a bit of like, Fitzroy is a sort of trendy, hip, kind of hipsterish, alternative place. I like the vibe personally. If you're a vegan, it's vegan mecca. But we're going to this place to eat, and then I think we're going to, I was like, I don't know why I was leaning in, invading your personal space. And then we're going to Gardenstate, I believe, for a bit of a boogie. I am hoping to be home by 10 to 11. I would really like that. Sleep is just so important to me. It means I'll feel good tomorrow instead of feeling like trash. But we'll see how we go. If I'm having fun, I'm having fun. I am tossing up whether to wear flats or heels. I've got this pair of pumps that just I have never worn, and I kind of want to take them out in the town, but I'm like, Chanel, you're going to be in pain. But then I'm like, Chanel, they make your butt look amazing. You look amazing in those heels. I also have like big hobbit feet, so I am 5'2", but I have a size 9 foot. So my foot size is not in proportion to my height. So when I wear flats, I just feel like a duck. I feel like I have these giant duck feet. But when they're in heels, like gives the illusion like less foot. So I'm like, do I wear the flat, which is super comfy, but I don't like the look of as much, or do I go for the heel? We'll see which Chanel. Smart Chanel would choose the flats, clearly. But then vain Chanel's like, let's rock the pump. Have a great evening to everyone out there, and hopefully I have a great evening too.
Is Australia's deadliest female cancer with a survival rate of just 49%.
Okay, let me tell you about my evening. So the restaurant Poodle Bar and Bistro is fantastic. I highly recommend the vibe, the food, the service, all 5 stars. Gorgeous place. Everything I ate was delicious. I particularly liked the porcini profiteroles and the steak. It was just very well done. Unfortunately, my cousin was over an hour late. So I spent the first hour in a romantic restaurant on Valentine's Day, surrounded by couples on my own. And yeah, it was a bit of a challenging experience. It did make me sad. I'll be completely honest. I found it quite hard and depressing to be sitting there by myself. About 45 minutes in, I started eating. I was like, bring the food. I love my cousin, but I'm like, I can't just keep sitting here while everyone around me is eating. But yeah, she rocked up just over an hour late. They are very strict with their seatings. So they give you a 2-hour seating, basically. So because I booked at 6, we had to vacate the table at 8. And so they did come at 7:58 to tell us that we had to go to the bar to finish our courses. So yeah, they're very strict with that. But I would absolutely return there. The maraschino sour cherry mocktail I got though was so sour. Like that kind of sour, so I couldn't drink much of it, but everything else perfect, wonderful. After that, we went to Gardenstate. Unfortunately, they were not going to be opening up their dance floor that evening. We did have some much older gentlemen, so I'd say mid-50s to 60s, come and try to crack on to us. I told them that I was into women and that my cousin, who's 22 years old, is much too young for them, but they didn't quite get the message. They were very persistent. So we decided to leave and go somewhere else because we did really want to dance. The cats are playing chasey. So then when we went outside to get the Uber, they followed us out. But luckily another couple also came over to us. It was like, hey, you guys all right? And they ended up leaving, but yeah, very persistent. So we went to Storyville, which is a themed bar. So it's like a fairy tale Alice in Wonderland kind of mushroom place. So the decor was stunning, really, really beautiful. Absolutely loved the atmosphere. It smelt like chlorine though. As soon as we walked in, just this hot wave of warm bleach kind of overwhelmed us. And there was no dancing going on. So we went to the bar and we're like, hi, is there dancing there? Oh yeah, we opened up the dance floor at midnight. And we were it was I think 9 p.m. at that point. We're like, no. So I don't know why, but in Melbourne, everything is quite late in terms of dancing. If you want to dance, you have to wait normally until like 10 p.m. And I don't understand that. I'm like, hey man, there's some of us that really love to get our groove on, but like to be bed at a reasonable hour. Can we not have a nightclub that's an early evening club? So anyway, we decided to leave that place because just the smell, we couldn't even sit there. So we went to Section 8, which is like an outdoor club. And it reminded me of the Roxbury, where they're like, the outside of the club is the inside and the inside is the outside. And it just wasn't, it wasn't our vibe. And the kind of people that were there were not like, yeah, we wanted something a bit more posh, swanky, you know, we were dressed up. So then we went to the Toff, and interesting, it has a lot of booths that are just in the middle of the room. And I think if you're in the booth, it's cool, but otherwise it makes it feel very cramped and claustrophobic. So their dance floor, we were told, didn't open until 10:30, but we were like, oh, we may as well just wait here for an hour. So we sat there, and then this guy, Canadian guy, came up to us and started chatting us up. And I was like, we weren't interested, very younger. And I said to him, you know, we decided to play a different angle, like we're actually here together, you know, as a couple. And he's like, you're together? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, so you're lesbians? I'm like, well, yes. And he's like, I've never met lesbians before. There aren't many lesbians in Canada. And I was just like, what? I'm pretty sure that's not true. And I'm like, well, yeah, in Melbourne, we're a very queer, inclusive city. And he's like, really? And I'm like, what's going on? And then he just started giving us an interrogation. So he started asking us like, how long have we been together? When's our anniversary? How did we meet? What are our names? And I'm just like, oh my God, guy. And then he started talking about his piercings. Like, I just got it done today and I feel like a different man. And I'm like, okay, that's wonderful, sir. But we're trying to have like an evening here and trying to make plans. So if you don't mind, he's like, you got to go on the dance floor later. Maybe I'll see you sexy ladies on the dance floor. You're so beautiful. And I'm like, okay, great. He's obviously fetishizing lesbian women. So we decided that we did not want to obviously have any more encounters with this guy. So we decided to leave, and we went to the Carlton Club. And it was like, it's a very red, almost reminds me of Moulin Rouge, the kind of aesthetic, but the sound, they were blaring it. It was deafening to the point, like I went up to the bartender to ask him, like, oh, do they play other music here? And he couldn't hear me. And I was screaming at him. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. That's how loud it was. They were playing like 90s female pop songs. So think Nelly Furtado, Man Eater. We were just not, that's not the kind of vibe we were going for. And it was just too bloody loud. And then we went to the bathroom to like go pee and recuperate. And two ladies walked in. One of them was very heavily pregnant. They were both drunk. And one of them started peeing on the floor. So we were like, let's go. And so we tried her. So downstairs, I just walked past, but downstairs it seems to be this beautiful restaurant, like gorgeous. I will definitely put that on my radar to go eat there. But we were obviously going to their bar area. So you go up, they've got two bars. One is what they call the music lounge. Guys, it was so tiny. I was like, is this a bar for ants? It was less than my lounge room in size. So we walked in and basically you had to stop because you walk in, it's like, there's nowhere else to go. There was like 25 people and then it was packed, like everyone's standing, all the rooms taken. And I was like, Phoebe, we have to get out. I can't stand this. I'm claustrophobic. So I was like, we have to leave. So we tried out the rooftop bar. So we went up to the rooftop bar and that was like a rooftop bar. So it's all open. It was very, very cold. And there was no dance floor. There was no dancing going on. It's just people sitting there having a drink. And we're like, no, we're going to go home. So we called it. It was like 11:15 at that point. So I got my cousin to get into the Uber. I waited till she left because I just wanted to make sure that she was safe and sound. And then I called my Uber and it took about 18 minutes. It was obviously a very busy time to come. And I was just standing there on the street at like 11:30 at night waiting for an Uber for almost 20 minutes. And I'm just like, man, I don't want to fuck with this shit anymore. It wasn't for me. We just wanted to dance. Like I just wanted to have a dinner out with my girlfriends, and obviously like some of them cancelled, and then my cousin was late, so I spent most of the dinner on my own. And then there was no dancing. No dancing was had. So I think in Melbourne you have to go out on a Friday night. I think is the best night to go out for dancing. So we might do that again in the future. Just that too, because I was so bloated after dinner. I do tend to bloat Almost every time I eat, I do experience some kind of bloating, and it varies in severity. And this was quite severe because it was a lot of different foods all at once in a very small amount of time. So I was really uncomfortable. So I think if I want to go out dancing, I'll have a very, very early dinner at home, and then head out at like 8:30. I can't do later than that. And I'm like, it's like 10 p.m. No, I'm not starting. I'm not heading out at 10 p.m. I'd rather go out at 8:30. Maybe they'll start the dancing at 9. I don't know what time. Maybe they don't actually start the dancing until 10. But yeah, we'll see how that goes in the future. But I'm feeling wrecked. So I think I got home at just before midnight, and I'm feeling worse for wear. But it was an interesting evening with a lot of very persistent men that were, killing the vibe for us. But yeah, if anyone lives in Melbourne and knows where's good for dancing, do let me know, because that is on the agenda in the future. I've tried out Replica's beach walk today. I almost feel like this is unisex. It smells like an expensive restaurant on the beach. That's the vibe for me. It's a very clean, fresh scent. I definitely would not call it sweet. If anything, it edges more towards floral. So I know that these are the ingredients in it, but like I don't smell most of those. There's nothing that really like sticks out. They all blend together. But yeah, it just smells like an expensive restaurant that's on the beach walk. It's not for me. It's, not for me, but some people I could see it, like I said, being quite unisex. Someone asked me about my workout routine, and I had to laugh because I didn't have one. So I have Hashimoto's. I have fluctuated wildly in the past, but at the moment I am stable, and this is like the body that I don't do anything for, but I am actively trying now to put on some muscle mass and protect my bone density, because I'll be 40 next year, and it's very important for me to be in a capable body, a strong body. So I am starting a workout routine. As I mentioned, I did go and try this new yoga place. The vinyasa class was too strenuous for me, and it took me 4 days to recover. So for me, I do tend to lean towards low impact exercises. I don't want to do anything that raises my cortisol, because my cortisol is already high. And I do get very easily, because I've got EDS and all these other conditions, I do get injured by certain exercise, and I experience a lot of pain post exercise. So the vinyasa was too strenuous for me. I am going and trying their slow flow class. I do want to incorporate some kind of yoga flow. I do yin once a week. So yin is when you hold like very sort of easier positions, like say child's pose, for 3 to 5 minutes. And I basically sit in that pose and I'll focus on my breathing, and I'll really sink into my body. And I very much enjoy that. It helps me decompress and has a positive effect on my nervous system. So once a week I do a yin yoga, and I probably do that for about 30-45 minutes. I'll just put an audiobook on while I'm on the ground, or I might put on a guided meditation while I'm doing it. So I try and make it very gentle and relaxed. I want to incorporate some kind of slow flow. Vinyasa, like I said, wasn't for me. We'll see how we go with this other class, but I probably will end up just doing that at home. I might just find my own flow. Like for instance, downward dog is a very bad position for me. I know that that's considered a rest position. Not for me. I think my girlfriend, who also had EDS, said that sometimes, that can trigger the POTS, and it's actually not great. So I was like, okay, good, because it was very painful, awful position for me that I would have to recover from. So I might just construct my own flow, because I think most yoga flows do end up putting you in downward dog at some point. Besides that, I've now also implemented 2 weight training sessions a week. So I do split, 1 upper body, 1 lower body. At the moment I'm using like 7 kilo dumbbells, and I'll just do targeted exercises for arms, shoulders and back on one day. And then for the lower body day, I do things like thrusts, squats, deadlifts, lunges. Like I said, whatever I find is best for me. It's been like trial and error with like, this exercise causes pain and takes me a long time to recover from. This one doesn't. So it's a cost benefit analysis. So I do that twice a week. And then once a week I go for either a 20-minute walk, any more than that and I get hip issues, or I do 20 minutes of dancing in my lounge room. I just put like my Myrna skin on and I jump around. I try to make it a bit more active than just like, structured dancing. I go crazy. And I'll follow that with 3 minutes on an echo bike. So an echo bike is like a resistance bike, and it's structured in 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest. So you do that for like 3 minutes and it kills you. But it doesn't cause me any like long-term pain, but I just want something cardiovascular wise, like to get my heart rate racing, because the other forms of exercise don't really increase my heart rate that much. They are more, like I said, lower impact. So yeah, that's the 5-day routine I've got going on at the moment. Am I consistent with it? It depends on my cycle too. Like during my time of the month, because I have menorrhagia and endometriosis, that's a quite brutal time for me, and that can last up to 12, 13 days, like my period. And so during that time, I will probably mostly just be doing yin, or I might do some mobility exercise. So these are certain exercises that you do that like increase your mobility. So I'll do like spinal rolls, and there's like these like hip ones that you do, and they're just to keep the movement so I don't become too stiff, because I do get quite stiff because I also have psoriatic arthritis. So yeah, pretty much I exercise just to try and help my conditions, and also as insurance in the future. Like I said, keep my bone density up, keep my muscle percentage up, because these are all very important, especially for me, to protect my joints, because I have so many conditions that affect my joints. I also take creatine and beta-alanine before working out. If I don't, even with the lower intensity exercise, I will still have a lot of like lactic acid buildup and DOMS for like days afterwards, where it'll cripple me. And there's no point exercising if I can't even walk for 5 days, or I'm in horrible pain for 5 days. So I do take those along with like a higher protein meal before working out, and that significantly reduces any following pain and injury. So that is how we're going. Like I said, I hope to see some improvement in muscle mass. That's what I'm gauging it by, like how much stronger also I'm getting. Because like with the weights, you can physically see like, oh, how many reps am I able to do? Can I go up a kilo? You know, there's a quantifiable element to that, so I can actually track my progress. But yeah, but it's also, I would say people with EDS, like you got to also be careful with yoga, because we've got hypermobility, and which basically means like you're almost always stretching. So yeah, I'd say anything when you've got hypermobility issues, you've got to be really careful and like controlled in your movements so that you don't cause injury. But yeah, if anybody ever had any other questions that they wanted to ask me, feel free, and I'll respond to them in a video for you. I'm probably about to start an anti-inflammatory diet, because my arthritis is quite painful, and I don't want to do the steroid injections into the joints. That's not something I want to do. And I also don't want to go on the immunosuppressant drugs, because all of these things have like side effects and can cause like other issues that I feel like, not at this point in time, not willing to entertain that. So I am trying to reduce my inflammation now to see if that gets rid of the swelling, and obviously gets rid of the pain in my joints. Like with Hashimoto's, it's also an autoimmune disease. It's also an inflammatory kind of reactive one. And I found ways besides medication. So sometimes I'm on T4, sometimes I'm not. If I'm eating less inflammatory foods, I find I don't need to take my thyroid meds. I only take them if I'm, say, eating a lot of, for me, inflammatory foods are, say, fried foods, heavily processed foods, or, you know, things like a lot of wheat, a lot of oils. If I'm having, you know, pizza and donuts, French toast, like day after day after day for an extended period of time, I will flare up and need to use the medication to give myself a bit of assistance. But yes, so I'm looking to at the moment eat more whole foods, I guess, unprocessed. I'm not a fan of restriction long term, can't do it. But I do have the tendency to like lapse in terms of the quality of the food I'm eating. I do fall into convenience sake foods. It's like one of the areas that my self-care lacks. If I have low energy, be like, well, I'm not going to make myself a meal. I'm just going to heat up this frozen mac and cheese in the freezer, which, like I said, I think occasionally is absolutely fine. But when I'm doing it on the daily, my health suffers. So I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, my health is getting to the point where it's like impacting me too much. And it's time to actually plan some meals, because that's also the thing, like I hate meal planning, but I have to, otherwise there's no food to cook. And if you haven't got the ingredients, you're not going to do it. And then you're just going to order Uber Eats, and it's a vicious cycle. But yeah, obviously that's not pertaining for when I go out. If I go out, I'm just going to order whatever I feel like. But at home, I'm trying to cook a little bit more seasonally with a bit more variety and with a focus on, you know, whole foods. But tomorrow I've got a slow flow class, so I'll probably bring you along for that. Can't film in the studios, but I'll let you know how I went. Okay, so I am back from yoga. So this yoga was a different location, same company, but they've got a few different branches. This was a different suburb, and this was their slow flow. I think they call it mellow flow. So basically you've got a few yin poses interspersed with some flows. I think for me, I prefer just to have my own practice at home. I like to go at my own pace, but I'm also very body led in my yoga practice. So if I do something and I feel a bit sticky somewhere, I'll be like, all right, let's investigate that. Let's lean into that and show that some love. So I do think I just prefer to do my own. It's mostly yin. Sometimes I might do a bit of a flow, but I never flow for more than 10 minutes. That's like the maximum amount of time. Otherwise it's too strenuous for me. So I'm just patting Blue Valentine. What can you smell? Lots of smell. Yeah. So yeah, once my passes end, I probably won't actually do a membership because I'm on the introduction, but I did definitely like the vibe of the slow mellow flow more than the vinyasa. There was a very handsome man there, and I don't know, maybe if they're at another class, I'll say hello after class. I'll introduce myself. Why not? I don't know. I do have a feeling though they might be gay. They were completely shaved, like head to toe, arms, legs, everything, all shaved. So I don't know, possibly not into women, but maybe they are, and I may as well just say hello and introduce myself if they're there. But if they're not there, this class was also this class and this branch, way less people. The last vinyasa class was packed. Every single mat in the room was taken, whereas this one had a lot of spares. So I do prefer that. I like less people in a space. I did try a new perfume today. So I tried this one by La Prairie. I feel like it's definitely leaning towards unisex. It's got a unisex fragrance. It's got a very clean profile. It a little bit kind of smells like clean laundry, like fresh linen, like good stuff, the good stuff. So I would say, yeah, this one's not for me. After class, we went to Tinker in Northcote, and it was pretty good. I ordered a burger because I just really felt like something really hefty and filling. And then I also got their gluten-free chocolate brownie with sea salt, and that was just like, oh my God, that was amazing. I also got a fresh pressed beet juice, but it also had pear in it. And I found sometimes with pear, I get that texture. I don't know how to describe the pear texture, but gritty, grainy. And so I don't think it like irritated my throat. So I don't think I'll get a fresh juice with pear in it in the future, but that's definitely a cafe I will consider going back to. It is quite cramped a little bit, but the food was good. But I think I will leave that for this vlog. I have no idea how long this one is. I just edit them all at once rather than piecemeal. So I am trying to keep them shorter. But until next time, stay wild, star child.